This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us. Could be us.
Say please.
Could be us.
Say please.
Could be us. She gotta say please.
Say please.
I love talking on the burrito level. Like,
yo, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Borito Talk podcast. I am your host, Borito, the #1 CDL ESPN analyst / content creator in the world. And I mean, today is gonna be a quick episode. There is quite literally nothing to talk about. I'm gonna have to start introducing like some lifestyle stuff to this podcast. I'm not gonna lie. Or you know what, I really wanted to start talking about Apex, but even Apex is like not really much going on right now. You know, they're kind of scrimming, just preparing for like the tourney. A lot of you guys probably aren't gonna know what's going on. But as for COD, the rosters are almost finalized, so I actually am gonna like tell you guys the quick schedule real quick, because next week you are not going to want to miss the episode of Borito Talk on November 3rd. You're not going to want to miss that episode. It will be my first guest on the podcast. You could take guesses, but I won't tell you. But it'll be the first of many guests. That's going to be a very good episode. Stay tuned for that one. Follow the podcast on Spotify. Be prepared for the episode dropping November 3rd. Probably going to be like my quote-unquote biggest episode to date, because, you know, there's another person and it's not just me, even though I mean I love the solo podcast, but I also want to dive into doing more guest podcasts. I'm not an interviewer. I've never claimed to be a good interviewer, but you know, I'm trying to hone my skills in all aspects of podcasting, and that involves having guests on and being able to ask some questions and navigate an hour plus conversation. So that's what next week's gonna be. And that's November 3rd. And then the week after that, November 10th, I'm going to be doing my tier list, because that's when all rosters will be finalized. Because if they're not finalized by November 10th, 4 days before the game comes out, we have a problem. So I will be doing my tier list, the best tier list in all of esports, on November 10th. So next week's episode is going to be big. And then November 10th is the tier list. A lot to look forward to when it comes to Borito Talk. But yeah, we're going to just yap for half an hour, maybe go over half an hour. All depends. I mean, you'll see by the end of this, like the timestamp. But yeah, what news is left besides this Carolina Royal Ravens roster? This one just hit the timeline today. This one hit the timeline before I started recording. As you can see, I mean, you can't really see the time because I'm blocking it. But Carolina Royal Ravens expected roster for Black Ops 7, Slasher, Lurqxx, Nero, and Craze. So there's also a clip on stream of Zuma, which was like an hour or two ago, saying they had to have changed this because he heard Geo and he was talking to Nero about being on the Stallions, and now all of a sudden it's Nero instead of Geo. And boy, do I got a lot to say about this roster, but let's just read this first. We're going to read both these articles. This one on October 21st from Ronnie Intel on GG Breaking Point. One step at a time. The Carolina Royal Ravens are quietly assembling their roster under the guidance of Brian Sate. I can't even believe that's actually a sentence. And veteran leader Austin Slasher. Their first major move was securing the highly rated Craze as the team's primary SMG, a key signing that provides the lineup with a strong foundation moving forward. Next on their radar is Lurqxx, the young standout who rose to prominence with Zuma Stallions after an early stint alongside world champion Mercules. Lurqxx is widely regarded as one of the most promising talents available, but questions remain about whether this opportunity has come too soon. His ability to mesh with Slasher's leadership and adapt to the CDL stage will be closely watched. For the flex position, Geo, formerly of Minnesota Rocker, appears to be the front runner. He's shown flashes of elite gun skill, but consistency will be the key to proving he's more than just another name on the league's 12th roster. Wow, crazy words there at the end from Ronnie Intel, but I love it. And now this article. 6 days later, October 27th, 2025, from Ronnie Intel of GG Breaking Point. Roster Mania is nearing its conclusion with one final position to be filled as the Carolina Royal Ravens seek a new flex player to complete their roster. Previously, we reported the Ravens' interest in former Minnesota Rocker flex player Gio and SMG player Lurqxx. It now appears the deal with Lurqxx is likely to go through, while Ravens have shifted their focus away from Gio and are now pursuing his former teammate Nero. This change comes amid concerns regarding the team's pace, as both Slasher and Gio were playing with assault rifles, which are generally considered slower roles. The Ravens are looking for a player who possesses raw speed and strong slaying ability. Although Nero may not have extensive experience as a full-time flex player, he has shown promising skills over the years, dating back to his time in Cold War with LAG Academy. This should mark the end of Roster Mania, with most teams having agreements with players and simply waiting for announcements. I expect we will start to see some of these announcements over the next few weeks, with one team rumored to make an announcement around Halloween. Wow. Sorry, just took a sip of my water. Wow. You know what this smells like? This smells like Brian Saint's behind it. Under the leadership of Brian Saint, they said in the first article. This change comes amid concerns regarding the team's pace, as both Slasher and Gio were playing with assault rifles, which are generally considered slow rolls. Okay. I mean, I'm about to go off, but I mean, wow. I was going to make a tweet about this, and this tweet will probably have hit the timeline before this podcast comes out, but we need to stop giving people credibility just because of tenure, because wow. And I'm not for anyone losing their job or anything, but there are many things in this world that I wonder, and one of those things is how people like Brian Saint still have a job as a coach in the CDL. He must be doing some shit that I've never seen before, that I don't know about, that everyone else knows about, because how is this guy still a coach? How is this guy allowed to make any roster decisions? I have no idea. I'm not... And like even Slasher, I mean, I got so much respect for Slasher, so not coming at him personally as a player. But if we look at Slasher's career, very great early part of the career. Like the first half of his career was great. After World War II, I mean, pretty much just existing. You know, he had this stint on FaZe in 2022 on MW2, which I did think he got done dirty by. I thought MC actually did him dirty that year. They probably could have won a lot more. I actually was advocating for Slasher to stay on that team in MW2, so I'm going to give him like around that period as well. But, man, I can't believe people get paid to make decisions like this. Like, I can't even believe there are jobs in esports where people get paid to make absolutely terrible decisions. That is just what I'm thinking. I'm just looking at all the players that were available. All the players that are available. Do you want to pull it up? Let's pull it up, man. Let's pull this up, man. Let's look at all the players that were available in the roster at the game, and not even judging the team individually, because Craze has to be on a team. So that Craze pickup, great. Lurqxx, I'm gonna get to Lurqxx in a moment, and then Nero, a player I'm also very high on. But we have to start building rosters looking at them as a whole, not just, oh, I like this player, oh, I like this player, oh, I like this player, let's put them together. How is player A going to mesh with player B that meshes with player C that makes player C mesh with player A that meshes with player A and B at the same time? You know, that's how we need to start thinking. And I'm looking at all the free agents. I mean, I know Abe's on a roster. So let's say Gio, Johnny, Spart. I mean, Afro's on a team, to my knowledge. I can't say Capsule. Diamond Con, Exceed, Fire. I'll say Gunless, sure. Standy, Proloot, Yuli, Cobra. Neum. Oh my god, Neum. Dude, I am very upset about like the Neum thing. I'm not gonna lie. This guy should be somewhere in this league. There's a place for him somewhere. You know, there's a place for him on Rockers. There's a place for him on Ravens. There's a place for him on Cloud9. Fuck, taking Bean Spot. There's a place for him on Vancouver Surge. There is so many places for Neum, and the fact that he didn't even get picked up is crazy to me. So that's like one thing. They had concerns about the pace. I know GM is a GM. Oh my god! You see, I already got fucking Neum on my brain. I'm literally saying GM. Oh my god! It's like a Pokemon combining both of them. I know Gio's more of a methodical player. Like, he's really good. Like, shoots the gun very well. That's what a lot of players say. He fries. You're telling me there was concerns about the team's pace? Like, one of them can't just speed up a bit? Like, are players, like, quicksanded to, like, the way they play that they can't play any other way? Like, I'm so confused by that, first of all. That's very confusing. I'm not going to lie. It's very confusing. And with the Nero... Okay. So Nero and Lurqxx. One of those guys have to fucking run an AR. Lurqxx is an SMG. He's 19 years old. He's like brand new. He barely has the SMG roll down. And let's say he's like one that they make switch to a flex. Why? You're essentially... It's already a gamble bringing in a young player too early. I'm not saying it's like a gamble that you can't take. I always love gambles like that when people just take chances on players, tired of seeing the same players over and over again. That's always a good gamble. But when he's not even seasoned in his current role and potentially has to switch to like another role, that could be like, if you're a slasher, you're probably nearing the end of your career. Maybe you're like 31, I think. Do you really have time for... I mean, or maybe that's just how he thinks he's like going to keep being in the league by being able to like help younger players or something. Like, it's so are you trying to win or are you just trying to get by? That's what I'm trying to think, because this is not a roster to get by. So I'll get into Lurqxx, I guess. So we'll knock that one out of the way. So Lurqxx, I've watched his gameplay. I haven't gone to his S&D yet by the time this podcast comes out, by the time next week comes out, but that's not even going to be about Lurqxx. I will have watched his S&D, but I spent about 3 hours. I recorded like an hour of it for YouTube, but I spent 3 hours total last week watching his hard points. I went back on like his Challenger VOD, watched his hard points, watched how he played, saw like decisions he was making on the map, the timings, the routes, if he was aware of like, okay, paying attention to the kill feed here when these players die or like this player die, paying attention to every aspect of his game. You know, the one thing everyone cannot deny, which is usually the number one thing people look for when they're putting together these rosters with unknown variables, is, you know, are they just skilled? You know, are they extremely skilled? Because to be a pro player, you have to be extremely skilled. You look at players like Hydra, extremely skilled, passes the eye test. That is just like part number one. Because as we've seen, skill can only get you so far. There's another aspect to the game, and that is the intelligence. That is the IQ of the game that you have to get down on top of the skill. Everyone could be a really skilled player and you may think you're doing good independently, but man, you could be screwing over your team on the map. And when I watched Lurqxx's hard point, I mean, there was a person who actually did a very good, man, who was that? There was a person that did a very good tweet. And it was pretty much exactly what I said. I don't know where that was. I'm so determined to find this now. I'm so determined, because it was pretty much exactly what I said. I'm probably not going to find it. I actually don't have it prepared at all. I'm just like an absolute bum. I'm not going to lie. It was on, I think it was on like the Zoo Mafia. It was on Zoo Mafia. I really want to believe it was on Zoo Mafia. But basically, I think it was like Zuma asking about Lurqxx. That's what I think it was. That's what I think it was. It was Zoom asking about Lurqxx, and a guy pretty much said exactly what I said. It's bookmarked somewhere. I'm going to try to find this as I'm yapping. Pretty much, the guy said, and I share like the sentiments, very good player, but his decision making is not there yet. He's a very novice player and doesn't have every aspect of the game down. Like, if we're just talking about, oh, you're a good player, sure, he could probably get in and do something. But especially when you're playing against the teams you're playing against, the phases, the optics, the LA Thieves, like well-run whole teams with not only with strong individuals, but also strong as a team, like strong in every aspect. And just being a skilled player is not going to get you that far. You need to be able to be a smart player. And pretty much when I watched him play Hardpoint, there's a lot of bad decisions he makes. There's a lot of things he's not aware of on the map. I probably should have wrote this down, so I'm actually being more elaborate with like my words. The decision making's not there. The routes aren't there. Even small things like picking up lanes, knowing when to support your teammate on the hill, knowing when to back up and rotate, knowing when to watch a pinch. Like, so many aspects of his game are not there. And if we look back, I'm even going to pull it up. We're going to go on his COD wiki. And you can just like see the match history here. So this one is on video. I had this one pulled up. So his match history. So he's a very good player, right? But let's take a look at his match history. So this is like the stage 1 where that Stallions team, like that Encourage, Abe, Lurqxx, and I think it was actually Mercules. Yeah, it was Mercules. That Stallions team, the OG Stallions team that everyone thought like that was the team that's all going to get into the league. And half of them have, half of them have so far. But yeah, they started 5-0 in the Elite Stage 1, 5-0. And then they went to the Stage 3 playoffs and they lost in Losers Round 3. They were out early. And then that's when they dropped, who the heck did they drop? They didn't drop Merc, did they? I think they dropped Encourage. Or something. Like they dropped Encourage or something and they tried to pick up Varsities and they went a 2-3 in the next stage. Didn't even make it to like the Elite Stage 2 playoffs. And then he was on like a Stallions team in the Open. They made it to Losers Round 7. They lost. And then he was on Stallions. He's been on Stallions for a while. Like Elite Stage 3, went 2-3 again. Lost in Losers Round 1 at Elite Stage 3 playoffs. Went to CDC Miami. Lost in Losers Round 8, which is like right before. That's like right before the Losers semis. And then went to DreamHack. Lost in Losers Round 9. That's like Losers semis, I think. That's like right there. And then the last chance qualifier, lost in the grand finals. Yes, so didn't make champs, came up pretty short. Had a, like for a majority, I think a lot of Challengers players would probably take the season that Lurqxx had, There was like some success, but you didn't win anything. You didn't even win a stage playoff. Always came up short every single time. I just think, without having to watch everything, but like I watched 3 hours of gameplay. That's a lot of gameplay, especially these grand finals where there's like 2 hard points. I even watched some controls. It's very important, especially in the CDL, for your SMG player to be very decisive, know what he's doing. What your SMG player does, I mean, obviously everyone's important. Like, you can't have ARs that can't shoot back. A lot of players have that issue. They have good SMGs, but no ARs, like no AR presence. Like, ARs can't do anything, and that really hinders the team. So you do need every aspect of the game. But I think having a very good SMG player is more important than having a very good AR player, because SMG players are like the takeover players. Those are players that can literally win you games. AR players can sometimes win you games. Scrap is a very good example of that. But when your SMG players aren't good with decision makings, because those are the players when there's 20 seconds left on a P1 and they have to rotate to P2, those are the players that are making that play. It's not the AR players. It's mostly the SMG players all the time, making those plays that win the rotations, those small gunfights. It's not Black Ops 2 anymore, where it just be like a 1v1 with ARs across the map while everyone else fights for the old hill. It's not like that. SMG players are very important nowadays. Very important. And he's just not there yet. I'm not saying he can't get there, but right now, he's not there yet. And I just look at it from a grand scale, because if he has a bad year, you know, all this expectation on him, a lot of people gas him up, but like a lot of people are on my side saying he's not ready, just not ready. But, you know, sometimes in order to get ready, you just have to get thrown into like the deep end. Sometimes that's just how it is. Because who could say that another year in Challengers he's going to get even better? Like, maybe he just needs to be thrown into the Pro League, maybe he doesn't do good, and then he takes that Pro League experience, goes back to Challengers, gets even better like Joe Deceives, and then comes back again and does even better. But sometimes if you do bad, you just don't get back in. But he's 19, he's got so much time, and he has a lot of stock. He has a lot of good PR on his side. I think he has good PR on his side to where if it didn't go well for him, a lot of people would just say, oh, Slasher, you know, bad vibes, it was a bad team. He needs to be on a better team to prove himself. You know, he'd have some good PR around himself to get another chance. But I just don't think this roster, I'm telling you, I can't believe people get paid for this, because this is quite literally, I can't even say the worst roster, because, you know, there's so many. This whole bottom six, man, has just disappointed me. Like Falcons, Surge, Rocker, I like to an extent. I think they need to upgrade on the coaching staff. No offense, Looney, but man, I mean, just not making anything happen. Upgrade on the coaching staff. Cloud9, their team, I don't know. Arian, I saw on Twitter how he like hosted like an open forum on like Discord for people to ask questions. I thought that was great. That's great. But I don't know what he's going to bring to the table as coaching. But you just look at rosters. Cloud9's team, Surge, Falcons, this team, Royal Ravens, whatever the F they turn into. So many, like the whole bottom half of the league is just not that great. Not that great. And yeah, just not that great. Even Breach, like with Cammy, they could have upgraded Cammy. Like they could have brought like a Neem in there, you know, like they could have brought someone like that in there. But you know, there's a little bit of like friendship cheese going on there. That's all good. I just spoiled some for later, but yeah, this Carolina Roarins roster is not it, and everyone's gonna see it. You can even see from COD Clip. So like COD Clip like posted the roster, and take a look at the replies on this. So, oh my god, I can't even pull it up. Okay, where is this stuff? This guy's just tweeting like nonsense. Okay, and here on a flex is one way to push pace, that's for sure. Like we'll see how things go, but one of the bigger question mark rosters of the offseason. Okay, well, I don't know what that guy was saying. People are saying absolute ass. No one's buying that roster. I'm sorry. This guy near at this point, I respect just being good enough to always find a way on a team. He can't keep getting away with this. Slasher can get kicked so bad in this COD. Top 24, top 12. Holy ass. Not making champs. Team has pays. Doggy. I don't know why I laugh when I hear doggy. Okay, but this Carolina Roarins team. You're forcing someone onto a position that they're not natural on just because they're a faster player. Like, you're telling me you can't make a natural AR play faster? That's the problem with the coaching staff. That's the problem with the players. You know, if you're a player and you're a slower AR, you can't play faster, you suck. You actually suck and you're not going to win. End of story. Like, how are you a pro player? You can only play one way. You're telling me Slasher or Geo can't play faster? I've seen Slasher play fast. Everyone's calling him slow. I've seen Slasher play fast. And then all of a sudden, like in the earlier part of this Black Ops 6 year, he was playing fast. All of a sudden, starts playing slow. Why? And then there's two slow ARs. And then it looks terrible. He was playing fast for a good portion of the year. Like, he can play fast. Why is he playing slow? But if he wants to play slow, why can't Geo play fast? Geo is such a skilled AR. Why can't he play fast? Why is there a worry of pace issues? One of those motherfuckers just needs to play fast. End of story. Why is that hard? But instead, let's get Nero in here. Who is an... Like, if he... if Nero is fucking frying, if Nero is on, he is like an S tier player for like that moment in time in that game. Like, he could be a really good player. Let's move a player with high potential on SMG. Let's move into an AR. Sure. That's been happening a lot. It's been happening a lot lately, you know, because there's just not enough good ARs and challengers. I made a whole thing about this. A lot of you ARs just aren't fast enough. Just think right now, on this Ravens team, they're moving Nero, who's an SMG player, to an AR because they needed more pace. So if any of you challenger players that are free agents are AR players wondering why I didn't get picked up, because they don't even think you're fast enough. If you were like a fast, good AR, you would probably be getting the call for this roster. Am I wrong? You definitely would be getting the call for this roster. Now you're going to force Lurqxx or Nero. It's probably going to be Nero because like Nero has more experience. You're going to get a Slasher Nero AR duo and a Lurqxx and Craze SMG duo. This roster is just, there's going to be so much mistakes on the map, and I just cannot wait for Black Ops 7. I'm telling you, I've already said it in Black Ops 6, but it's going to be even more evident this year. My YouTube is going to be blowing up with analysis videos. I cannot wait to see half these teams play. I can't wait to see Falcons play. Can't wait to see FaZe play. Can't wait to see the Ravens. I can't wait to see every team play. All these doo-doo teams. The only team I don't really want to see play is like Rocker. I don't know why, but I mean, just for like the culture, just for the analysis, you know, going to be doing that. But man, the amount of mistakes this team's going to make, because you got Craze, who's like a superstar SMG player, just runs it down. But Lurqxx also kind of likes to run it down. But he's a lot less indecisive, makes a lot more of the bad plays, which could throw off Nero and Slasher. And, you know, it could be Craze trying to do it all, and then everyone else is just shit. You know, there's so many different ways that this could go bad. It's just a terrible dynamic. And it's a roster I kind of want to believe in, because it's like, if you're not hating and you're trying to look at it from both POVs, like you see Slasher, Lurqxx, Nero, Craze, you know, like on, like just looking at the names, you know, that could work. But it's 3 SMGs and an AR, and you're forcing somebody into a role that they haven't really been in. It's literally going to be Nero. Actually, now that I think about it, it is definitely going to be Nero. So you're going to be getting a Slasher Nero AR duo. Slasher's going to be losing full with this team. And they're going to have Brian Saint, who's going off to raves, like not even caring. So it's like just people occupying a job space, to be honest. Like, I don't even care. I'll say it, dude. Like, I tip it, though. The fact that guy's been a coach for as long as he's been, I got to tip it. But I mean, holy cow. Like, wow. I'm actually mind blown. I'm actually super duper mind blown. This is actually insane. But good for Nero, though, because I was like, man, like Nero, I even though he had such a terrible year with all of his friends on Rocker, you know, all of his friends, you know, trying to play together and just didn't work out, man, I really want to see him in the league. I'm like, man, we don't have space for Nero anywhere. This is not what I meant, okay? But you know what? I like to be optimistic, and you know, we need more good ARs, so maybe Nero could all of a sudden be like the best AR in the game, you know? Or I'm not going to say the best AR, okay, let's relax. But maybe he could be a top flex in the game, because that's what we need. There's a lot of good SMG players, but we really desperately need more good flex, like faster ARs, not the slow ARs like the insides. We need faster, good ARs. So maybe Nero could be that next breakout, and all of a sudden he's going to be getting onto a better team. If you prove to be a fast, consistently slaying, like good KD AR who plays the game the correct way and is just like actually fast, you could skyrocket up to onto a way better team, because that's what everybody is looking for. That's the role on the top teams that's very interchangeable. Like you have like your Samsa Beezies, your Shotsies, your Hydras, like those guys aren't budging for nobody. You know, they're not budging for nobody. But, you know, the ARs, it's always up for discussion. So I like it in that sense. You know, maybe this could be good for Nero, because, you know, he's proven at times to be like a very good SMG when he's on. But that's the thing. He's not on all the time, you know. That's the bad thing. So maybe him switching to an AR actually unlocks like a better side of him, because we've seen Kenny switch to a AR. Not saying he's a good one, but you know, he switched. You know, he did switch. He did switch. You know, he did switch. But yeah, yeah, but I don't like the roster at all. I don't like the coaching staff at all. I think it's going to be another disappointing year. And how many disappointing years do we need before actual change gets made? Like, what is this actual organization even doing? Like, what is this organization even doing? Like, there are so many pieces that literally should have been gone. If you don't care, like, you don't care, okay? If it's just an organ, it's like, let's just fucking field the roster. I'm pretty sure that's probably how it went. Okay, fair play. I take back what I said. But if this is you trying to try, even though I know it's not, then, you know, like, yeah, you just need to stop. I don't know. You just need to stop. But yeah, that Carolina Royal Ravens roster is not that great. And we're going to take a break here. We're half an hour into this podcast. Wow, that's awesome. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back on this episode of the Borito Talk podcast. Be right back. Yo, guys, today's episode of Borito Talk is sponsored by me. No, I'm kidding. Today's episode of Borito Talk is sponsored by the Borito Takeover YouTube membership, the best membership on all of YouTube. For just $4.99 Canadian, you unlock a bunch of extra behind the scenes, extra breakdowns, extra analysis from yours truly, Borito. A lot of extra content that you will not get on any other YouTube channel for their memberships. Not trying to compare or anything, but it is the best YouTube membership. If you're interested in extra content, extra chill nights, watching breakdowns, analysis, so much good stuff in the archives, and so much more on the way from yours truly, Borito. So hit the join button. Join, support the Borito Takeover on my road to full-time content. This episode of Borito Talk is sponsored by the Borito Takeover YouTube membership. Now back to the podcast. All right, welcome back on this episode of the Borito Talk podcast. Now, you know, get this nasty Carolina roster out of my face now. Like, now we're just gonna start going through some tabs. And, could go 10 minutes, could go 20, could go half an hour. Who knows? We're just going to yap for the rest and then, you know, get prepared for a phenomenal episode next week and then a phenomenal episode of the tier list on November 10th. So, yeah, let's get through this one. So, just have some clips pulled up because, you know, I was trying to find stuff. Simp gets asked if MC has good comms, and he says realistically no. Hold on, let's play this clip.
It's a very fun team. Does Cellium have good comms?
Realistically, no.
Okay.
But
You made it work.
after time, we heard him.
Bro, he looks so nervous. They asked him that question, and he looks so nervous answering that. And I think it just speaks to FaZe. I mean, I'm not even trying to go on another like Atlanta FaZe route. I mean, my YouTube is loitered with Atlanta FaZe everything, okay? Atlanta FaZe everything. The highs and the lows. A lot of lows on there. So not only did Atlanta FaZe cope with not having any sort of structure and hardpoint, but they were apparently okay with MC not having good comms for this long and just being like, yeah, he's a good player. So, yeah, you know. I mean, I guess it didn't matter because they made a lot of grand finals, more grand finals than a lot of players are ever going to make in their career. And, you know, a lot of players would probably wish to make as many grand finals as, you know, Atlanta FaZe did. But, you know, I just, like, always, like, hate, like, small things being neglected. I just always hated it. But, yeah. And, you know, there's like small things I'm thinking. I'm like, these guys make a lot of money too. You're telling me like can't pay for speech therapy, you need it. Like, don't start coming at me. I know someone's gonna come at me for speech. Hey, I'm working on it, okay? But it's like I could comment game, you know. Me commenting games way different than me talking. Okay. Okay. But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. He looks so nervous when they asked him because it's almost like he didn't want to answer. And even the way he's like staring at them in the eyes, he looks terrified. Looks terrified. And then Simp gets asked if he's better than Abizi. Obviously, I'm going to say myself. He
That
says.
still wasn't enough.
Nah, it wasn't.
Who's the better COD player between you and Abizi?
The fuck?
You and Abizi, long time
He's like,
duo.
the fuck?
Since Cold War, that's
Fuck
all
yeah.
I've wondered is who's better between you two. It's an endless debate.
I think it's
Who's
opinionated,
better?
but I mean, I'm gonna say myself here,
My
obviously.
guy. It's my guy.
60-40? 90-10? Just guaranteed?
He's
I don't know about the percentage. Percentages are crazy. I don't know.
What makes you a better Call of Duty player?
he's baiting.
We're getting into crazy questions right now.
Yeah.
We are getting into federal questions. What Chance is reaching for the stars, and I love it. He's reaching for the stars. I love it.
That's a
But
very basic,
But
normal
I
question.
think I'm one of the greatest because I just do it all. I think I have great awareness, great gunning. I fucking can do it all.
Oh, he's saying Abizi doesn't do it all. Oh. Yeah. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's probably the nicest way he could put it. He's saying he could do it all and Abizi can't do it all. Because like Abizi does not snipe, Abizi does not carry bomb, Abizi can play objective, but for some reason does not want to, even though that's a role that I think he would thrive in, but apparently just doesn't want to do it. I mean, just can't see it, I guess.
Okay, so where
Just
are
can't see what I'm seeing, you know?
you better than Abizi? Every single category across the board?
No comment.
No.
The-
dude, you don't
What does
have
the chat
to,
say? What's
you
the
don't-
chat say?
Yeah, what's the chat say? It's more about what did Shotzi say? Well, Shotzi said it technically.
It matters
incorrectly
more what people say about me than, or like what the people
I say
saying
about
about it.
myself. It doesn't matter what I say about myself. It's what other people say about
I just
me.
think in general, compared to like everybody, I'm gonna do it all.
Actually, Chris, that's a good point. We can talk a little bit. We're not. This is a crazy question. It's not like it is in that same vein, but
He looks like so nervous there.
it is going to be wild to like square up against your
Oh
boy
no, it's gonna be crazy this
for the
year.
first
I mean,
time ever.
Us versus Falcons, us versus LAT.
Yeah.
All those matches are gonna be electric. So
It is going to be. I mean,
it's gonna be something. I'm sure it's gonna be body shooting, after shit talk. I mean,
I mean,
it's gonna get down and dirty. I can already imagine.
it's going to get dirty. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, well, he just thinks he's better. I mean, well, that's pretty normal. Zuma reacts to Hex saying he's going to GA salaries. I know a lot of you guys have heard this stuff. I'm super late on it. I mean, I've already heard the shit, but I want to talk about this, so we're going to play it.
What? And we got GA salaries, and guess what? The Green Wall and all the fans of Call of Duty are on our side. So what are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do? You're gonna bitch publicly and to apply pressure to the owners? No, us, the owners, and the fandom want the sniper back.
See, Dylan talk.
Absolutely. I'm so fucking lonely. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucking, the real boss, ladies and gentlemen, the real boss. You're gonna GA snipers, well then they're just gonna fucking GA fucking salaries. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? And just a little add-on to that, but that's gonna happen in due time. I mean, eventually salaries in general, I mean, we can't really say that because, you know, I mean, we've already seen what's going on. I mean, we've already seen what's going on a little bit. They'd have to have that conversation like Hector said. But I mean, I'm hearing some salaries going on that are not lower, and some of them are definitely going higher.
Yeah, but basically, I support Hex on this, and when the game drops, guys, I'm gonna be a voice of reason. I've already said this in the last podcast or like the podcast before that. I'm gonna be a voice of reason. These motherfuckers want to GA something that should be in. I am screaming it until the mountaintops. I don't care. Like, I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, Burrito, like, you're like burning bridges. If anyone, okay, let's talk about like the burning bridges thing, okay? Let's talk about, like, let's go on a little rant, okay? Or, I mean, no, let's not go on a rant. Let's just, like, answer this, like, pretty, I'll answer it simple, okay? Okay, yeah, okay, let's do that. I just don't think it's burning bridges. Like, in my opinion, I know to other people, it might be even to like the people, you know, maybe like directing, like, oh, like they made a bad play here. To them, it could be burning bridges. Good for you. I don't even like want relationship with people like that. If you can't separate the work from the personal, that's not my problem, okay? That's not my problem. That's you problem. Something you got to figure out in your life, okay? If you can't separate me calling your gameplay bad from me actually liking you as a person, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is like two different things. That's between being a normal person and being a psycho, okay? And that goes for everybody, not just like the pro players. That goes for everybody. Every like fan or whatever who's always like, "Oh, you're so negative." Brother, let's separate the content from the actual person, Burrito, okay? Let's separate. They're two different people. Yeah, so if that's burning bridges, then let that shit burn then, you know? I'm not gonna like stop doing content the way I'm doing my content, like, you know, and that's the thing about the Call of Duty scene is like it's very tight knit, you know. Everyone could talk about wanting to see other people like succeed, but you know what? It isn't like that, you know. It isn't like that. There's a lot of, you know, if they don't like the way you speak or they don't like the way, like, you know, if you don't come up like the good boy way, you know, if you don't come up the good boy way, handing out candy, like sunshine, rainbows, kissing everyone's ass, you know, if you don't come up that way, if you don't come up the nice way, you know, you're gonna rub people the wrong way. People don't like seeing a confident, independent, free speaker that's just not afraid to say, like, that's the one thing Call of Duty is missing. Like, you know, even all like the ex-pro players, you know, like all the big shows, you know, like the Optic Watch Party, the Flank, you know, they can say how it is. A lot of times they say how it is, but you know, there's certain things you can't say when you're friends with everybody, you know, there's certain things you can say you're not friends with everybody. That's why I'm like in a different lane in that sense, because like I'm not like personal friends with anyone, so it's not like I can't say like, oh, like this person sucks, like, you know, they're not playing good, you know, like other people might sugarcoat it like a bit more, but I could say whatever. And I'm not just saying stuff just to say it. Like, I say stuff if, you know, there's actual evidence behind it. I will never just like do like false propaganda or false like to say stuff to say it. I rage bait a lot because I know a lot of people fall for it. So when it comes to Optic, I am like the king Optic fan rage baiter. I rage bait Optic fans like no one's ever rage baited them before. But yeah, that's something this scene does not have, is like a person who could just say whatever and like says the stuff that everyone else is afraid to say. That's what I do. Like, I'm not afraid, you know?
What?
They had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. But okay, anyways, Hex asked Illy to play on Optic Challengers with the Optic Halo team. I'm not gonna play this because it's illegal and like it says in the comments. Interesting. I would love to see an Optic Challengers team. It'd be very interesting, you know. It gives us something to watch on like the Tuesdays, the Wednesdays Challengers, you know, that type of shit. Be very interesting to watch. Yeah, we just need more like that, like Optic Challengers against like Stallions or against Omit, you know, that could be like primetime Wednesday night Call of Duty, you know, because like the CDL's on the weekend, you know, this could be primetime Monday Night Football, you know, that it could be that type of shit where it's like the Stallions against Optic Academy, you know. But like Hex is saying play with like the Halo team, I'm like, that team's gonna get cooked. Come on, man. And this also goes into like the other thing. So like Zuma talks about how like the Alliance helps Challengers players. Like, let's play this. This goes into my other point.
For Stallions, man, we're hosting tryouts, bro. We're hosting tryouts. And it's pretty clear, guys. It's pretty clear. If you go to the Stallions, you're like 90% going to the CDL, bro. Like, if you make it to the Stallions, you're pretty much going to, like, that's the track record that we have over here, guys. That's the track record we have. Whether you like it or not, the facts are in the facts are facts. Right? So we will be hosting Stallions tryouts. Okay, and it doesn't matter where you are. Hey, brother, you could be on fucking, you could be a TikTok, you could be on fucking TikTok. Right? Just a player on TikTok who thinks all the CDL pros are ass. So right? All those people on TikTok that think they're so good, all right, well, come try out. I mean, if you want to make it to the big, if you want to make it big, and you want to make it to the CDL, come try out then.
All right, so this goes into another thing. How do I try to be a coach? Oh, the one coach everyone will not like, you know, Burrito, the man himself. But you know what? You know, Stallions has had good teams, but you want to know what the Stallions have not done since... Actually, never mind. I'm pretty sure in MW3, like, they won. Let me look at Stallions COD Wiki. Because they wanted them to, yeah, because they had that Exceed team. They had like the Exceed team. They had the Exceed team. I could go on like their tournament results. So, I mean, I guess we'll do like the elite stage qualifiers. What? There's a big fruit fly. I just hit it. Yeah, get wrecked. So this is like the Stallion. So encourage. Abe Lurqxx. Nah, I'm looking at MW3. Okay, it was only like the Brack one. I thought that Brack team was like another. I swore that was like the Stallions as well. That's weird. Okay, so this one like the stage 1. Have the Stallions won actual challengers LAN? Because I think we have to make that happen. I think we need to make that happen. I think the Stallions challengers needs a coach that could take them to the promised land. I think they need a coach that could take them to victory. I need to go and exceed Sing now because I swore this guy won in I swore this guy won in MW3. Like, did he not? Am I faded? Boston Open. Oh, it was like FaZe Black. Oh, it was FC Black. I'm pretty sure it was Zuma's team. Is it not? That's actually Zuma's team. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Zuma's team. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I fucking knew I was cooked. I knew I was cooked. FC Black, my bad. Like, holy cow. Like, FC Black was announced. Does it say who owned the team? I'm pretty sure it was Organization Apex. Has Rain in there. Has Zuma and Ben as managers. Okay. That's weird. Okay, so it's only for MW3, and they won like the Toronto Open. Okay, so they haven't won since May 19th. That was their last. That was their only win. Was FC. Their only win with FC Black was at the Toronto Open. So I think we need to take Stallions back to the promised land because, you know, like they haven't been there in a while. Let's take them back to the promised land. I'm throwing my name in the hat. I will reach out to Zuma. How do I try to be a coach? Who the heck do I have to out coach? Is coaching like me watching tryouts and like being like, oh, you know, this player, you know, like they're good. They should did the, like, you know, like how does this work? How does this work? Even with this Optic Challengers team, even though, I mean, Illy and the Halo players probably will just be like terrible. I'm not going to lie, will be terrible. Interested to see that. Interested to see it, like, just for the vibe. Just for the vibes, because, you know, barely any people watch Challengers. If you throw an Optic team in there, you know, whatever, people will watch. But don't think they'll be great. Don't think they'll win. Yeah. Pretty much. And then, yeah, that's like COD Club. Okay, now we're just going to, like, talk about Formal real quick, which is, like, the final thing. This is, like, the last thing I have. We're not going to make it to the, hour mark because, you know, I just don't want to. So Formal, horny for Formal. So before we get into Formal real quick, I just want to talk about like this Halo Land this past weekend. So obviously I didn't watch the whole thing. I was like peeking glimpses, had a pretty busy weekend, but, you know, I just couldn't help but notice Royal 2 pulling up to the Halo World Championship Grand Finals in a Louis Vuitton jacket, just playing in style, dropping a 1.38 on the whole tourney. I mean, it didn't look like there's any doubt in my mind. Like, Shopify was going to win. Like, they just looked like the best team going in. It almost felt like, honestly, it felt like Complexity in Ghosts. The exact same energy. You kind of already knew who was going to win going into it, and I don't be watching Halo that much, but, you know, like, you could just see like they were just like the clear-cut best team from the moment that even before they went on the 3P, even the tournament before that, you could tell they were still the best team even when they lost. And then they came up to the next one, they won, came up to the next one, they won, came up to champs and they won. Frosty and Royal 2, both 4-time world champions in Halo, and all 4 of their wins are with each other. Is that not incredible? I think it's like Counter Logic Gaming, FaZe, this one, and Splice. Is it Splice? I don't know. It's in there fucking somewhere. But 4-time world champs with each other, like that's probably the ultimate freaking duo right there. Frosty and Royal 2. But yeah, I thought that was cool. the main reason why I don't watch Halo, if Halo had a mini map, I would actually enjoy watching, but it's so hard to get behind just watching like the POV on the screen and that's it. It's very hard to watch. And then as pertained to Formal's final chapter, you know, everyone's speculating, everyone wondering. I mean, I have no intel at all. Like these thoughts are 100% my own. All I'm going to say, because I'm just like, I like when people speculate things, you know, it creates excitement. Like, oh, like I wonder if he's going to do this. I wonder if he's going to do that. I just think like he's not coming back to COD. I'm sorry. Like, hey, Taft, to burst your bubbles, Optic fans, he's not coming back to Call of Duty. If I had my guess, he's 31. I was about to say 41. Oh, holy cow. He's 31. Let's look at this. He's 31. Okay, he's 30 turning 31. Okay, he's turning 31 on December 19th. He's 31, but it's not necessarily about the age. Okay? You have to look at the landscape of the CDL, and you have to look at Formal with his personality. Formal is not going to go onto a dog shit team. He's a legend. He's a legendary FPS player. He's not going to go on like a Boston Breach. And that's the other part of the coin. Boston Breach probably don't want him, you know? He's not going to get onto a top team. He's not going to get onto Optic. He's not going to get onto FaZe, whatever. Even with all the history as in Call of Duty, everyone's going to think, yeah, like you had your time in Call of Duty. Like, we don't think you're as good as you once were. Like, no disrespect, you know? Every player just has like a downtrend. Not only that, he's not going to get into a top team. And if he can't get into a top team, he's already not going to play. He's not going to go into a bottom team. He doesn't like scrimming. He doesn't like the schedule of scrimming, I guess, in Call of Duty. So, you know, you take those three things. The schedule of scrimming, not going onto a bottom team. Top teams aren't going to want him. There's nowhere for him to go. So, he's not going to be playing Call of Duty. Hate the burster bubble. Probably going to go play another esport if I had to guess. You know? So, yeah. Or just stream. But yeah, that is, that's really all I had to say. That's all I had to say. You know, it's nice to have, you know, like a below hour podcast. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, tune into next week. Follow the show on Spotify. Tune into next week's episode. Our first guest, November 3rd. You're not going to want to miss it. And then November 10th, the CDL roster tier list when all the rosters are confirmed, as they should be 4 days before the game comes out, please. Yeah, so much to look forward to on Borito Talk. Content on the channel. We'll be getting back to streaming as soon as this week. Got a busy Halloween weekend, but before the Halloween weekend, should be streaming a little bit. We'll be streaming the next week. We'll be getting back on the streaming grind. But yeah, with that being said, guys, put your phones down. Don't get distracted by your phone like me. I get distracted by my phone a lot. It's a bad habit, which is why I'm buying an Apple Watch so I can throw my phone. I don't really like going on my watch that much. So, you know, having an Apple Watch would be a good distraction from being distracted from my phone, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. That may sound dumb, but to me it makes sense. Yeah, so don't be distracted by your phone. Put down your phone. Go do some work. If you ever wonder what you should be doing, just do a small bit of something. Make progress every day doing something that you love. Just do something, you know, even if you're in like your 9 to 5. After your 9 to 5, don't be in that mindset of being too tired to go do something. I know it's like it's very easy. Like, you get home from work, by the time you shower and everything and you eat, you're already tired, you know, and you know, you're just like, I just want to like lay here, watch TV. Find it in you to do something, and you will get the energy once you start doing it. It's like going to the gym. Like, no one wants to go to the gym. Everyone's like, oh, I'm tired, you know? And then you go to the gym, and then you don't want to leave. You're like, one more set before I leave, you know? You're on that wave. So just find it in you to keep digging with whatever you're doing. Just, like, do what you like on the side, even if you're not doing what you like full time, you know? Do what you like on the side till it takes over what you do, you know? But yeah, with that being said, guys, this has been Borito on this episode of Borito Talk. Bada boom, bada bye. We'll see you next time.